So if you've got a spreadsheet that has email addresses in it, and you wanted to be able to send some information from that sheet to the people whose email addresses are listed, you can have Google Sheets automatically do that for you. It's by using an add-on called Form Mule, right? And I'm not going to explain all the details of it, but basically, here's how that's going to work. I've got this feedback over here that I want to be sent to a particular email address that I've got in my sheet. What I can do is go to add-ons, and I'm going to get an add-on, and I'm going to look for Form Mule. And when I look for that one, there it is, Form Mule Email Merge Utility. I add it in. It's going to ask me which account I want to use this with. It's going to say, hey, are you okay with it having access to a lot of your stuff? I'm going to say okay, because I want to be able to use this. It's going to take a second to load up. And now it's going to be available as an option under my add-ons. There's Form Mule, and I'm going to run the setup. And I got to choose the source data and set my merge type. All right, so I start it up, and it's going to first ask me where is the information that I want to use. So that is all on Form Responses 1. All right, and it's going to ask, do I want to have this automatically send the emails? I can do that. Like if a kid turned in, or if somebody turned in a form, I can have it automatically send a email back to them. Or I can say at a certain time each day, send out an email for me. But I don't want to do that. I want to do this after I have looked it over and only when I tell it to. So once I'm ready to set up the number of templates, it starts out with 1, and it starts out with the default of template 1, and it starts with send condition send for all rows. What I actually want to do is, because there's different teachers on here, I'm going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to say I'm going to have one template, but I don't want to send it for all rows. I only want to send it when certain conditions are met. I want it to send when the English teacher, not English period, but English teacher is my name. That's what is listed in that column. So any of them that say my name, I want to send an email to. So I'm going to save those changes. And then the next step is going to be setting up the actual email template, what's going to go out to people. So I click Next, Edit Template. That's going to pop up the template window for me to fill in. So I'm going to put who I want it to go to. Over here I've got all of my column headers, and I want to find the one that says email address, because that is the row that contains the email addresses that I want to send all these notes to. So that is ready to go right there. Notice how it's got brackets around it. That means it's going to automatically fill in the information from that column. And then I'm going to put a title on here, and it's going to be feedback on your big project proposal. And then I've got to write what the email is going to say. So once that email is opened up, and then I've got to write what that email is going to say when it goes to the different people. So here's something I can do. I can have it automatically put the name of the person, since that was one of the pieces of information I collected. Now when I click where it says first name here, it's going to put the label of that thing that I inserted, which is first name. That's going to show up in all of the emails as the words first name. But the stuff in brackets is going to be replaced with the values that are in the spreadsheet itself. So, hey there, Billy. Hey there, Mary. Hey there, Jim. It's going to customize the email to each person. Then I can write the rest of my email. Now, it just so happens that I wrote this before, so I'm going to see if I can paste this in. Can't. That's okay. I'm going to just come up with my text for my email. Here is feedback on your proposal. And then I want it to pull the stuff that I wrote on the sheet itself and send that to every kid. So I'm gonna find my column that has that information, click it, and then it's gonna put the words ELA feedback followed by whatever I had to say to that individual person. And then I want to follow that with some further information. Yours with So I put in whatever further message I want, and because I want them to resubmit something on a form, I've actually made a shortened version of the form link. So I'm going to put, here is the link to the form if you need to resubmit. And I shorten that link to bit.ly/big project, upper B, upper P, proposal. It is case sensitive, so they've got to make sure they spell it right, but this is going to turn into a link that they can click on and follow when the email actually gets sent to them. So I've set up the email I want. The program's going to automatically fill in these things for me for every individual person. Now, I can actually preview and see what this is going to look like. Now, it's not happy with me for some reason, but if I do this preview and send all, it's going to show me what this is going to look like, and it's going to tell me how many of these it's going to send. So it's going to set up, what is this going to look like? So it's going to fill in the email address, it's going to fill in the first name, it's going to fill in the words that I wrote to that individual student on the spreadsheet, and it's going to give them all the rest of it. And I can see that it's going to do that for all of the different students. Their email addresses, their first names, their individual feedback is going to be there. And because of the way I sorted this, a lot of the feedback is similar to begin and then gets more specific for them toward the end. And this one got different feedback. So it's going to automatically set those all up, and then I can just click send now and it will go out to the students. Or if I want to change something, I click edit templates. It'll bring me back to this template I was setting up, and I can go in and make any changes I want to make before I do preview and send all. When I do the preview again, once I've made my changes, if it looks like it's right, if it looks like it's ready to go, then, all right, if this looks good, I can hit send now, and it's going to automatically email all of the students that have submitted the work. So that's going to be 36 of mine out of the 200 that are on this sheet. It's only going to send it to my students. So that's how you set that up and send it.